Well, folks, there's this term in the industry that we call dog fooding, like those air quotes. Dog fooding is where I don't just talk about something and say it's amazing. I don't just try and sell you something, which I never try and do anyway. I just tell you my own experiences with things and take it from there and have fun along the journey. That's what this ham radio thing is all about. This time, however, I created a Black Friday deals list on things you could get on Amazon to create yourself a complete ham station. So 2 meter, 70 centimeter, all the HF bands, digital modes, audio modes, programming, etc., all kinds of stuff. And I'm going to eat my own dog food. That's where you eat your own dog food to see if it tastes any good, as opposed to just saying this is good and leaving people hanging, and then when they get the stuff, they're going to figure out that it wasn't very good. So I am going to figure out that it's pretty good because I'm going to work my way through figuring out how this whole station works. A lot of the gear that I featured in that I have actually had hands-on experience before, so I'm fairly familiar, fairly confident that it's all going to work. What I don't know is it all going to fit in the bag? Let's stop talking about it and start doing it. Turn the bag right side up. Y'all want to see the business side of the bag. Ooh, there's even Velcro spots on here. So we're over at the workbench. We're talking about the bag. What is going in this bag? This is the loadout bag for the Black Friday deals video that I did. I think we got away with only one item that wasn't a Black Friday deal in the mix. And about 99% of the stuff I got on Amazon. The one thing I didn't get on Amazon was the Toads digital interface board, but it was still on a Black Friday special, so it still counted. You know me, I'm a bag man. We're going to start with the bag and then the tablet to verify that we can stack forward, or if this was the wrong bag. And it still might be the wrong bag, so stick with me towards the end of the series. This is going to be a whole series because it's not all going to fit in one thing. But this bag is designed to hold the HF radio, the Baofeng in one of the front pockets, a Talent Cell battery in another one of the front pockets. There's room on the back for some notes or some paper or something. There's some attachment points here on the side. Maybe I'll find a water bottle carrier or something later on. This was pretty neat. There is a USB power port, and I wonder if there's data on this as well. I mean, why not run the extra 2 wires? But you know how these people are. And all this is a USB female socket on the outside and a USB cable with a USB male plug on the inside. And before we get onto the inside, HUNTVP, Hun TVP, HUNTVP. I have no idea what they're trying to say there, but it says meet better journey. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to meet a better journey. And I don't know, we'll take the paper off. Nope, I guess we'll take the whole thing off because it broke. Okay, well, that didn't survive the... It also wasn't really a feature of the bag. That was the tag. So we've got Velcro on the front for morale patches. Let's fix that right away. We got a couple of morale patches here. This is not going to be an FD818 bag. That's going to be a future video. So this is the KM9G bag. There's step number 1. And then this will work. I'm your Huckleberry. All right, excellent. Now we got some patches on there. All right, inside the front pouches, there's just pouch space. Nothing spectacular going on in there. But we might be able to stick like a pocket organizer in there in the future for better stuff. They latch down and they cinch down if they're not full of things. So we might have to uncinch them a little bit later. All right. We've got a carrying handle that is strapped down with some flare just to make it look a little bit better than the average carrying handle, but those are also some more attachment points. On the back side, room for a paper notebook or something along those lines. There is a pouch on the back. It is padded here, but not padded on this side, but that's okay because that's inside the bag. And then in the front, step number 2 is the tablet. So we're going to take a look at the tablet today also. And we've got a mesh pocket there in the front, the back, depending on your orientation, a shoulder carry strap, and then it is padded up here on the front to protect the tablet and the radio. So that's the bag out of the way. We know for a fact that the tablet will fit, so might even be able to get a bigger tablet. But if I wanted something bigger, then this is an 8.7-inch display. If I wanted something bigger, I just use a laptop. 8.7-inch display, dual speakers, all-day battery life, light and comfort, and it's got Android OS, and it's powered, and it has Dolby Atmos, which is the sound system. So the sound should be pretty good. It's known to the state of California to cause cancer. Okay. I wish they would tell the rest of us how they, what they know about this thing causing cancer, but apparently we just get the warning over here in Arizona. So another part of this kit is the EDC stuff that I already have. So like there's not going to be a pocket knife in here because I already got one. And we're going to do this together. This is going to be, like I said, this is going to be dog fooding. So as you can see, I have never opened this before. I don't even know how to get into the box. That's interesting. They taped the top of it with like a warranty break seal type deal. And that's not how you get into the box. Lenovo used to be IBM, like the IBM Consumer Electronics division. All right, inside the box, we got 2 smaller boxes, and I actually got super excited on these. I actually ordered 2 of them by accident. So I have 2 of just about everything to make this Black Friday radio station deal. So this is the protective carrying case thing. And inside of the protective carrying case thing, I have a faux tablet. So that's going to be the size of the tablet. It's not a bad size. Maybe I could have done like one of those 10.4 deals. I don't know. And then it folds over to have a tablet stand, a tablet holder type deal. Yep, I had it right the first time. It's just there's no tablet in it to hold it down. We'll play with that a little bit. But I like having the screen protector and whatnot. That makes it nice. And then the tablet itself, well, that wasn't supposed to tear, but tear it did. And I tried to go with a brand name tablet because there are a lot of knockoff tablets out there that are hard to figure out. I have had a Samsung phone, and even some of the Samsung stuff, like they have the S line and the A line, and I thought that my S7 would have been just as good of a phone as an A10 or whatever it was, and the A10, they actually made it worse than the S7. The S7 was a better phone. So I stick with the S line, the Samsung Galaxy S whatever phones, and I thought about getting a Samsung tablet, but this came in clutch. There we go. This came in clutch as a Black Friday deal for a decent price, sub $100, and it's a good size. It's good enough to hold in the hand. 10.4 might be a little bit harder for some of the small-handed people out there. Has a camera built in, which I'm not terribly worried about because I have a better camera, for actual real camera stuff. But it's one of those things. It's like I carry my Leatherman with me, and I use it on every single project I ever do. I don't know why. I guess just because it's there. Like, if I didn't have it, I'd have to walk back to the shop and grab a screwdriver, walk back to the shop and grab a pair of pliers, carry a toolbox with me, whatever the case may be. Even if I do carry a toolbox with me, I still wind up using it on every single project that I ever work on. So maybe the camera's going to work out that way. And with no buttons, there's extra room here. The screen doesn't go all the way behind the camera. So let's see what else is in the box, if anything. We've got our SIM tool, we've got a quick start guide, we've got a safety and warranty guide, we've got a cable, and this feels like it's good enough to be a combination cable. Let's see. Yeah, it's USB-C on one side and USB-A on the other side. I have enough of those. I want to keep it in the box for now. And then this is probably empty. Yeah, that's got to be empty. There's like no easy way to get into that. So we're just going to assume that that part of the box is empty. And who knows, that's where the golden ticket is, and I'm going to be missing out on all kinds of fun and excitement as a result. There's a lot of secondary garbage that comes with buying this stuff, but at least it's all paper and recyclable into like fire starting material and whatnot. You can kind of tell how this goes in the case because of the camera cutout, and then there are buttons on the side to extend the usage of it. So we're going to go ahead and snap that in there. And now that that is in there, does it make more sense on how we're going to create the kickstand? Oh yeah, see, perfect. The kickstand just works. It didn't work before because there was no weight on it. Okay, cool. All right. So now we've got that. It's got its own, does it close? It doesn't have one of those magnetic closure things. That's kind of a bummer. I mean, it's not so big that it matters, but it kind of matters. And then there we are with it turned on. There's no screen peel. Sorry, guys. I mean, it kind of had that protective casing on it to begin with, but there was no screen peel. So why Android? This is my other Android, and I have a ton of apps. I've got, what is that, 5 pages worth of apps. So I'm going to load all of these on here, and we won't demonstrate all of them in the video, but there are a lot of them on here. APRS check-in, APRS Droid. I guess we'll just get started. First boot time. The screen looks really good. All right. Hi there. Vision settings are fine because I can see it with my cheaters on. English is good, so I'm going to hit start. User agreement. Privacy statement, of course. And of course I've read every single detail. Join my Wi-Fi, not my neighbor's Wi-Fi, and we're connected. Getting your tablet ready. My computer needs to think about being a computer. This is what it's like. Waiting for the tablet to become ready. You can choose to transfer your apps, phones, contacts, Google account, and more. So this is where you get to have that decision of, do I want to be off the grid or not off the grid? So, I mean, this is kind of one of those religious things. You can do Android 100% off the grid. You can sideload apps onto it. You can jailbreak it or root it and work it that way. And I think as long as the grid is up, you might as well be on the grid. I have actually thought about it for a while. I did some prepping stuff when I owned my farm, my ranch. We don't call them ranches in the upper Midwest. We call them ranches in the lower Midwest. And, you know, I raised livestock and everything, and then I kind of realized I need propane for heat. I do not own enough trees to heat my house for the rest of my life. And so I decided to become a useful member of whatever happens after the fall. You know, have some skills, have something to contribute, have a reason why people would want you inside their circle of friends. And here we are. I'm an educator on technology and radio and stuff like that. And radio is definitely going to be something that survives a grid down scenario. So I'm going to go ahead and connect to the world with this, because it's kind of what we're going to do with the radio anyways. We're going to connect to the world. You need another Android device, turn it on, and keep it unlocked. Well, I happen to have another Android device, my phone. So yes, we'll do it that way. And they want cable to cable type stuff, which is good. Find your other device's cable, use a cable that fits your device. This is usually the cable used for charging. Yeah, but the one that you guys sent me for charging was an A to C cable, and I need a C to C cable. But I'm a ham, and I have all kinds of cable stuff. So we're going to do that. It didn't ask me to do it, it just said find it. Insert the cable into your other device. So there's my other device, and we're inserting the cable. And now my phone is charging my tablet. Connect both devices. That's been done. What is making that alarm? Oh yeah, it's this thing making the alarm. Okay, I have connected the devices, but it's not doing anything other than throwing an alarm, and I can't swipe down to do anything. Okay, well, I just randomly tapped the screen and it stopped the alarm. Connected for charging. And it says transfer in progress. So my phone has told me transfer in progress, keep both devices on and connected using the cable, connected to a USB accessory, and I'm charging it. I'm not going to mess with anything since it actually says it's working. Connecting to your TB305 FU. FU. No, don't FU. That would be wrong. All right, so we are preparing. Get the glare out of the way. Well, I've taken all my young man supplements, so we haven't made any progress. So I think I'm going to skip the data transfer, which wasn't necessarily important. Hit the back button, checking info, checking device. I am an adult, I promise. Kind of more of a teenager. Oh, I don't like the keyboard already, the split, but maybe it's for thumbs. Let's see, is it thumb worthy? No, it's not. That's awkward. But that might just be me, not being used to this and playing with something new. And don't come at me for privacy stuff because my email is publicly known. It's fine. Now my password, on the other hand, I don't know it, and neither should you. All right, we'll try the login. I think that's the right password. Yes, it's me. I agree. Google already owns all of my life anyway. Something went wrong. Of course you couldn't copy my data. I already knew something went wrong. We are past peak humanity. It is all, they call it the enshittification. It is all where we are today. Use location find, allow scanning, allow apps and services to scan for Wi-Fi networks and nearby devices at any time, even when Wi-Fi or Bluetooth is turned off. No. Allow phone number verification. Why would you periodically recheck that I'm still who I say I am? No. We'll see if we need to turn that on later. Send usage and diagnostic data, install app updates. Sometimes this will get you. Sometimes, like, it's one of those things where it's a one-way trip to upgrade because there isn't a catalog. Sometimes, most of the time, there isn't a catalog of older versions of applications, and sometimes new versions come out and they remove things. There was an issue with an app a while back. I forget what it was called, but it was a common plugin that we all used, and they didn't pay the license for using the CompuServe GIF format, and yes, it's GIF. It's not GIF. It's not peanut butter. It's a graphics interchange format. It's a graphics interchange format, not a graphics interchange format. So, GIF, graphics, GIF. Anyway, rant aside. And so the older version had the ability to do all the GIF work. Then the licensing crap came in, and for a while they weren't allowed to do GIF work. And now they can do GIF work again. But either way, I'm just going to hit accept. Back up your device. No need to back up anything. So let's just don't back up. And it's still trying. Join the user experience program. Well, my user experience so far is shit because of the enshittification of everything. We already did the auto update, restart and upgrade overnight. Sure. Oh, this is Lenovo. That's why. Next. And if I would have gotten a Samsung tablet to go with my Samsung phone, it probably would have been fine, but I'm trying new pain. Set device password. Why would I want a device password? Oh, no, I know why. And we're going to do a PIN, and you guys can't look at my PIN. No. Show sensitive contact. Only when unlocked. Continue to set up. Keep going to get your device fully set up, or leave now and, we'll continue. Ask your assistant, hey Google, if you agree, Google Assistant. As you can tell, I don't have it turned on because it didn't do the hey Google thing. This is a hard decision. I don't have any of those home automation personality bot things around. I do use it in the car when I'm driving and Google Maps is up. It's really fun sometimes just to ask it crazy questions, and sometimes it's like, I can't answer that. And I'm like, but you answered it before. I'm going to skip it on here. I don't use it on my phone, so allow assistant on lock screen. So allow the thing that I just said I don't want to do it. Listen to over 70 million songs in the YouTube Music app. I don't actually care. Oh, this is bloatware. There was no, like, skip this or nothing. It was just, you're going to do this. Okay, thank you for telling me what I'm going to do. Maybe I don't like music. Set up a few more things now or find them later in settings. I don't need to add another. I don't need to worry about, I'll change how the text displays later if I find that there's a problem. I'll change the wallpaper later if I don't like it. Review additional apps, so no thanks. Getting your tablet ready, and it's still preparing, and this is charging that. Gesture navigation or 3-button navigation. I am used to the 3-button navigation, but gesture notification is what happens on all of my phones. So again, I'm here for new pain. We'll do the gesture navigation. Welcome. Get started. I thought we already got started. Okay, it was doing something. Ooh, take a quick look. Congrats on your new device. Make it yours by customizing with essentials and popular apps. Continue. I am a person that needs to go to the bathroom. My age is not quite the oldest category. Oh. Optimizing app recommendations. I want none of these. And they're checked. Can I uncheck them? Unselect. Unselect. Unselect Firefox. Ooh, half of you guys just decided you hate me. Unselect Candy Crush. There goes the other half of you. I'm in a situation now where enough of my life is in Google, and I think Google tried to poison Firefox by slowing things down. And so I switched over to Chrome, and the slowdown in Firefox problem doesn't exist anymore on Google apps. So I'm stuck on Chrome right now. And on a Android device, I don't know that it matters. Unselect. 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 At least I get the opportunity to unselect bloatware. Is this going to unselect all of the bloatware? Unselect. Unselect. I do sell a bunch of stuff on eBay, so I'll leave that on. Daily forecast. I already get my forecast on my phone and on my smartwatch. Unselect. So I have one thing to install. All done. Your apps are being downloaded and installed. Finished. Okay, now I got to go and manually install all my ham radio apps. So gesture up to see my apps. Okay. Gesture way up from the bottom. What does that do? That doesn't. No recent items. Okay, I had to do that like 4 times. What? 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 Oh, okay, so I have to swipe up and hold up in order to do that. Okay. Tap to get the weather. I didn't want the weather app, but I guess we get it anyway. Entertainment space. Your favorite entertainment in one place. Okay, we will skip out of that. Okay, so side to side gets me stuff. I have a bunch of unknown stuff, a bunch of empty games stuff. Switch to large folders. Press and hold the small folder display menu and tap enlarge to enlarge the folder size. This is fine, just the way it is. Okay, I think it's actually doing some over-the-air download and install stuff. That's what's going on. Installing apps, supplying power to connected devices, finish setting up. We did all this. Just a few more steps. Look at all those Google apps across the bottom, which are now in the way. There's a button behind all the Google apps. Tap to finish setting up. We'll go back to continue doing the thing we were in the middle of doing. All right, wants to do this thing again. Check on the other device. Oh, making progress. Yes, I'd like to do that. Yes, I'm going to log in. I saw a video on YouTube somewhere that said the police are allowed to force you to use your fingerprint to unlock a device, and it's not a violation of your Fourth Amendment rights. But it would be a violation of your Fourth Amendment rights if they forced you to tell them your PIN code. So I don't know how true that is. I don't run in those circles where I would get to the point where a police officer would need to force me to unlock my phone. Still, it's kind of a pain in the butt. And if you think about it, your phone now contains everything about your life. It's got your passwords on it, it's got your password manager on it, it's got your bank access, which is accessible by your thumbprint, your fingerprint, whatever one you happen to use. It says continue to set up your tablet. I guess we'll come back in a few minutes if this thing has made any progress. Progress has been made. 24 gigs to copy. Data you copy is merged with the data that's already on this device. Great. Apps, call history, it's not a phone. Photos and videos, fine. Actually, no, I don't want to synchronize photos and videos. Music and other audio, I don't even know what that is. Device settings, and all my Google stuff is automatically synced. I took a break to do a little bit of a workout. That's why I'm kind of out of breath. I was like, what am I going to do to pass the time? Copy, right? And she's copying. Data you chose is being copied, getting account info. So earlier we tried to copy the data over, and it screwed up a bit. Keep going to get your device fully set up or leave now. I would like to continue. Why are you asking me to leave in the middle of, like, we just finally made progress? Anyway, so what I was talking about with software gore earlier was this thing wanted to copy data, but it didn't have my Google account set up, which somehow was needed apparently to copy data. Now we're, yeah, crazy. I'd like to continue. First impressions of speed so far, the phone seems like it's faster than the tablet, processor-wise. And again, YouTube Music, which I don't want, and I can't tell it I don't want it. There's no choice except for to go next. So is that just an advertisement for YouTube Music? No, I don't want to do any of that stuff still. All right, 15 minutes. I get to do more workout stuff. All right, well, this is interesting. The battery is running low because this has been charging this, and it says settings has stopped. It's still copying, so I'm going to see if I can turn that off because I don't know why this was charging that. There's something in here, connected devices, USB settings, USB, nothing. And I don't want to change that away from transferring files or who's controlling what, but I would like to turn off the battery charging. So this thing here, battery's running low, supplying power to connected devices, tap for more options. Close the app is the only choice I have. USB is controlled by charge connected device. There we go. Turn that off. Okay. And then it interrupted the damn thing anyway, and now we're back to complaining mode. Yep. Well, that's not ready for prime time either. The two of them are complaining. USB is controlled by connected device, connected device, connected device, connected device. Couldn't switch. Connected device. Don't charge the connected device. I didn't say disconnect, I said don't charge it. Okay. Fun stuff. So I need to charge the battery on the tablet fully in order to finish that process out. In the meantime, that's on, that's on, that's on. I guess I will start charging this device. I plugged it into a power socket and wants to control USB by the connected device. No, I want to use it for this. I don't want to charge anything connected to it. Why would USB be controlled? It's charging though, so we have that going for it. $124 out of 192 applications. I'm going to let that finish. I'm going to let this charge, and we're going to come back after all of that mess. Software gore. So it has been a while, and I've done quite a few other things. I'm still doing the charging. It's still taking a while to charge. I switched over to a fast charger. It's 48%. While it was doing that, while it was doing the charging, I also did a update on all the software. That update has required a reboot. And we are rebooted and we are back. And one of the weird things about this, don't look at my passcode, is that it is definitely slower than the phone. And until it has a chance to fully wake up, kind of like Windows XP, when it launched, it was like, log in, we're ready. And then you have to wait another 20 minutes for the thing to finish, which is why we all started leaving our computers on all the time, because they took too long to boot up. That's kind of how this thing is. But once it's booted, that login was fast enough. We are still doing the charging process. Going to settings. What was that thing? New features available. And it still wants us to finish the setup process. And the phone is still standing by wanting to do its data transfer. Where are we on battery? An hour left to charge. 48 minutes until full. And 49%. Nice. And I can't do the rest of the data transfer until it's charged because they want to charge each other, and as you saw before, when I try to tell this one not to charge that one, they go crazy out of sync. Fun stuff. We'll be back. The tablet is finally finished charging up, and I know my camera is going to die next, so I'm going to plug in the camera while we're doing this. And who knows, maybe the other camera will die too, and I'll have to swap out chargers on that end. All right, that's plugged in. This camera is charging. This tablet is fully charged, 100%. Oh, hey, let's restart. Didn't know we were in the middle of an update. More like Windows every day. We're gonna update behind the scenes without telling you that half your CPU is gone due to updates. The boot process on all these Android things is super slow, but you don't have to boot that often because they're constantly powered. Of course, I say that and I've rebooted twice so far today. I guess 3 times. Once to turn it on the first time, then once to do the system updates, and then a second time to do system updates, because the first set of system updates wasn't good enough. I mean, what could this thing possibly be trying to do at this point? There really isn't much to an Android OS operating system. Oh, and that was a rhetorical question. I mean, if you want to leave me a comment and tell me all about the Android bootstrap process, go for it, but it was just a joke. It's okay. Okay. Unlock. Unlock to finish the boot process. And we're waiting, and we're waiting. There we go. No recent items. Good. Okay. Updated to 17.0.10.069 stable version. This device is now part of the Find Hub network, which helps you and others securely find lost items. Didn't ask for that. New features. Maybe I'll play with that later on. I didn't ask for word puzzle. I didn't ask for FreeCell. I didn't ask you to install these other 3 apps. Well, I did ask you to install eBay. You guys were there. You saw that one. But you also saw that I turned off all the rest of this stuff, specifically by name. And the last time it rebooted, it did want to finish the setup, and now maybe it's not finished booting yet. There is no way. So this is just a list of all the apps that this thing has installed, which copied over from the phone. The fact that it needed to install these. It didn't copy the apps from the phone. It copied I need to install these from the phone. But I don't see, there it is, tap to finish setting up. I'm not ready for that right now. I hit the X button to close the thing and it removed the notification. I did not install Temu. I did not install Perplexity. Where are my groups of apps? That's kind of a ugly way of organizing apps, because I have a whole bunch of ham radio apps that I would like to have in a ham radio folder. It's a new interface for me. Work with me here. Because Samsung uses the One UI, which has a different user interface. It has this kind of screen with these kind of apps on it, and then I have folders full of apps and stuff. I didn't install Shane or Wolt. Oh, the bloatware, the modern bloatware. Okay, let's tap to finish setting up. I tapped. Just a few quick steps. This looks very familiar. Let's copy your data. That would be a great idea. You need another Android device or an iPhone or an iPad. Turn it on and keep it unlocked. Okay. Use a cable that fits your other device. This is usually the cable used for charging. So I think this is telling me that I need to use a cable, not to use the cable itself right now. Now it's telling me to insert the cable into my other device. So we're going to follow the order of operations. I've done that. Connect both devices. I've done that. Now it's doing that thing where it's trying to figure out whether I want to be a charger or not be a charger. Supplying power to connected device. I want more options because I don't really want to do that. Copy data to your new device. Copy it, yes. Verify it's me. Okay. Continue setup over here. It may take a few moments to get ready to copy. High power USB device connected. So this is some older notifications that I'm looking at from when I first plugged them in. Cannot access this device. Connected device needs external power supply. That would be lovely. And now this thing is charging and I don't want it to be charged. Choose what to copy. The data you copied is merged with the data that's already on this device. How your data is copied. I don't have enough space. The apps have already been done, so I don't need to copy the apps. That took quite a long time to uncheck. I am not going to use this as a phone, so I don't need the call history. Photos and videos do not need to be transferred. I don't know what music and other audio is, so I don't need to transfer that. Okay, that's going to make it really fast. I don't have any audio and music on this phone that needs to be transferred over here because I don't actually listen to music. Oh, my audiobooks. That's what it is. I don't need to put audiobooks on here. Okay, perfect. Copy. And that should be fast because there's hardly anything to copy. Connected to a USB accessory. Tap for other options. Set device password, we already did that. I think we finished the copy. Continue setup. Keep going to get your device fully set up or leave now and get a reminder to finish later. I would like to continue. I don't know why it wanted me to stop doing that. Let contacts nearby find and share with you. No thanks. This came up. This is now the 3rd time they want me to look into YouTube music, and I will tell it the 3rd time. I don't want to, but there's no don't want to. There's nothing else I want. We're nearly done. Adding finishing touches. Okay, good. All right, copying's done. Continue setup over here. Copying's done. You can disconnect the cable. I'm going to close. I'm going to disconnect. All right. Well, it should have come up and booted up and done system updates first, and then asked me to do the transfer, and then it would have worked fantastically. Right, so we are up and running, and now I got to figure out how I can show you all the ham radio apps that I have. Because this is crazy. This user interface here is very crazy. Because there are a ton, this is why I wanted an Android tablet. There are a ton of apps for ham radio on Android. So I guess I can go through and start uninstalling these things. I do not want the 99 crossword puzzle. That can go away. Yes, I'd like to uninstall that. So 705 Remote is a remote control application for your ICOM 705. ADSB Radar or ADSB Unfiltered are apps for looking at airplanes overhead, and you can actually plug an RTL SDR dongle into the tablet. It'll run off of the tablet's battery. It'll wear the hell out of the tablet's battery fast. But it will also be a radio receiver and do all kinds of radio receiver things. I've got a video on the channel for doing that already in a different way, but that's still stuff I want to play with. Amateur Radio Toolbox, Amazon Alexa I don't use. APRS Droid is APRS for Android. Let's see, Block Blast I don't want and didn't ask for. BTEC GMRS is for the GMRS Pro radio, this guy right here. And then they have another one for the BTEC UV Pro, which is the sister to the Vero VR N76 radio. Bunch of camping stuff, bunch of battery stuff, bunch of gas station save money stuff. I'm sure the T-Mobile stuff isn't going to be necessary on the Lenovo non-cellular Android. Droid Star is for doing DMR and other type modes from the Android, and you can do it with or without a radio. And it also does M17 stuff. Dump 1090 is for 1090 megahertz aircraft overhead stuff. DV Switch is something you can use to do between digital voice and All-Star, I believe. I still need to play with a lot of these apps. So there's ham radio is a hobby of 1,000 hobbies. One of those hobbies is just playing with Android apps. Easy QTH Locator, Echo Link. I took Firefox off. You guys saw me take Firefox off in the beginning. It came back on anyway, but that's because it's on my other phone. Fitbit, I don't have a Fitbit. I don't need this. FreeCell, you guys actually saw me uninstall that twice now. FT8TW, I don't know what happened, but there was FT8CN for China that a ham in China had made, and now there's FT8TW, TW for Taiwan, so I need to try that one out. But I've got a video on FT8CN and using it to do FT8 from a tablet. It's actually a really, really sexy user interface. Grid Square Locator. I use Repeater Book to look at my grid square, but Grid Square Locator is another way to do that. Guide Along, I don't know what that is. Ham Alert. Ham Alert is pretty cool. I did a video on Ham Alert a couple of years ago. If you put my call sign into Ham Alert, you will get an alert on your phone when I get spotted on a cluster, like the POTA cluster, the POTA spotting page, or the DX cluster, or the reverse beacon network, or anything along those lines. You will see my alert come through. Harvest Host, I didn't want that. I don't actually like the Harvest Host company in general. Let's see, HT is the Vero app for the Vero HT or for the N7500 or the N7600 50-watt mobile. iGate 2 looks like it's going to be APRS stuff. Some of this stuff I installed a long time ago and still haven't had a chance to get to. I can get rid of this webcam. I can also get rid of Camo, which was up here. I haven't used Camo in a long time and don't plan on it. We're at peak bloat now, where it's just easier just to leave stuff around. Hint control is for controlling your T-Mobile Wi-Fi router, I believe. What a great name. June's Jury, I did not install that. Juice SSH is good for looking at SSH clients remotely, which we will use when we get to the Raspberry Pi portion of the whole deal. I did not install Jigsawscapes. ISS detector, it detects when the ISS is going overhead. KV4 HP is for attaching a 2 meter, 1 watt, you can also do a 70 centimeter, 1 watt radio to the back of the Android and then doing APRS messages and stuff. Link to Windows, why would I ever want to touch Windows? Look4Sat is a satellite tracker for satellites overhead. Maps, Matchmasters. Meshtastic is for off-grid messaging, peer-to-peer mesh networking of sending messages back and forth. There is a ham mode on this which disables encryption and allows higher power devices because Meshtastic runs inside, it runs on the ISM bands, but some of the ISM bands are inside of the ham bands, so we can do ham type stuff with ISM type software. I did not install Monopoly. This is another thing I do when I get a new Android device is I go through and get rid of all the bloatware that I can, and then what I can't get rid of I go and disable so it doesn't take up any space. Morse Expert is a Morse training tool. What I found with the Android version of Morse code type stuff is that you get to the point where your ability to decode Morse code exceeds your ability to user interface with the device that's testing you as to whether you can decode Morse code or not. So I ran out of that. Mudflap is a good way to save money on diesel fuel at truck stops and gas stations all across the country. My GMRS is a thing for GMRS repeaters. NanoVNA web app is a way to look at the NanoVNA on the Android. So instead of having the small 4-inch screen that people complain is hard to see, you can use your big 8-inch, what size did we say this thing was? 8.7-inch, almost 9-inch tablet. Google News. Never, ever, ever read the news. It'll just cause you to have a bad day. Ninja Pro Connect. This is for my Ninja Woodfire Grill. This thing is amazing. I really enjoy using this because it is a smoker, grill, dehydrator, air fryer, all in one. It runs on 120 volts AC, which is like its only downfall, but I can deal with it because I have the power. It combines so many devices into one. You can bake brownies and cookies and pastries and stuff in it, as well as smoke pork butts. So it gets a pass for running on 120 volts AC. Oddmaster is for programming using the TID radio programmer. Ola Radio is for programming handhelds like your Baofangs. I guess let's do it right. Programming handhelds like your Baofangs. And I think it also does the radiodity in Baofeng clothing. And both of these radios look a lot alike, but it's because they're made by the same parent company. They're made by Sennhaix, Sennhaix, I believe is how you spell and pronounce that, but I could be wrong on both of those. That's how I spell and pronounce it, but it's also from memory. OpenSignal tells you signal strength of Wi-Fi cellular things in your area. That's a nice tool if you had a cellular connected tablet. I don't. Does it actually do anything on here without a cell service? Yeah, I don't have any SIM cards. That's where I think it's gonna have some problems. I do like that it is I do like that it's telling you what the permission is that it's going to use, and then Google Android comes back and says what Android's obfuscated version of that is. Like, I need to be able to detect the nearby relative position of devices. No, you just need to be able to see Bluetooth stuff. Okay, well, the battery died, and I was in the middle of a Android permission rant, which wasn't terribly important. Oh, I can view two. That's pretty cool. I turned the tablet sideways. I can view two portrait apps side by side in landscape mode. That's nice. Settings, OneVision, landscape view. That'd be pretty cool. So I can have like the POTA spotting page open and I can have hammers open side by side. That's actually really nice. Yeah, so this is going to tell me where the cell towers are near me. It's going to tell me what kind of coverage I have. Yep, I'm in Benson, Arizona. Oh, this will work off of Wi-Fi data to give me cellular data from the uploaded reports. So it's telling me that all along I-10 there is decent cell coverage that's been reported. That's pretty cool. Down into neighborhoods and stuff, wherever people are driving. Okay, so that'll work on here. We'll keep it on here. And that was OpenSignal. Organic Maps is offline maps. Patreon. You guys can become a channel supporter of this channel by going to patreon.com/temporarily-offline. Peanut's another ham radio app. Yeah. Allow Peanut to record audio. Yes, while using the app. And this will allow you to connect to, I want to say it'll allow you to connect to DMR type networks and stuff. I no longer have any accounts at Pillar Bank, so I don't need that. I'm pretty sure I sold the power drive inverter. Power clean for the solar charge controller and for the batteries. Actually, I'm charging a battery right now. Let's see, which one is it? Because there's one for each of them. Allow it to find and determine the relative position of nearby devices. Yes, this is that Bluetooth rant thing. Bluetooth only works within 30 feet, so yes, find devices that are within 30 feet of me. Bluetooth is not turned on. Okay, well then, let's turn on Bluetooth. Yay, Bluetooth is on. And I forget the name of the device. Oh, Bluetooth Power Queen charge controller. That one. I should have higher signal strength. I'm sitting right next to it. All right, so it's in MPPT status. It is charging the battery, and it is currently getting 1.09 amps out of the sun and shoving it into the battery. So there you go. So that's Power Queen. PRXTX Lite is for controlling radios. So from cat control, or you can control SDRs. That's nice. And I don't even have 100% of the Android ham radio apps installed. I just have all the ones that I've seen. Radar Scope, you have to pay for it in order to get good access, but this is really good at telling you weather. This will give you more weather information than you know what to do with, and after you play with it for a little bit, you will know way more than the Weather Channel will ever tell you. And I don't mean the Weather Channel as in the company, the Weather Channel. They're great. I mean the weather services. Rattlegram is a way to send messages over ham radio, send pictures and stuff over ham radio. I've been meaning to play with that for a long time. Repeater Book, like I said, Repeater Book is how I get my, yes, I need to know my location because it's going to tell me my local repeaters in the area. And it's also going to tell me my Maidenhead Grid Square, my Grid Square location. So I'm in DM41UX, and these are all of the repeaters nearby me. And one day, I hope, they will allow you to program radios from this, besides just the 705. But I still need to get into the 705 thing and show you guys how to do that with the Repeater Book app. So that is Repeater Book. Robot 36 is for sending SSTV messages back and forth. The RSMS1A and the RSMS3A are for the 705 or the ID50 something radios. RTL SDR driver was needed. You can see about that in the video I did on the ADSB over Android stuff. So you'll need that in order to control the radio. Same thing with SDR Angel. Scopy is I want to say it's a Pi Pico based oscilloscope that you can build. We're going to be building that on one of the Ham Nuggets live streams coming up. So be sure you're subscribed to see that. That's only been going around the country with me for the last 3 years unbuilt, waiting for me to have time in the schedule to do it. SDR Touch is for controlling SDRs. Shine is that thing that I didn't install. We'll get rid of that. Well, look, solitaire games. I've got 4 different versions of solitaire games on here, none of which I asked for. Soda Activator. I've started doing some Soda stuff, and there's a couple of Soda apps that I have on here, and I can't remember which one it is, but one of them is really good because it doesn't really need to be connected and will give you the information of the summit that you're on. And the other one, I think you need to have a login and a bunch of other stuff. ST4001A is another ICOM programmer. SSTV encoder is another SSTV tool. Don't need all of this T-Mobile stuff because this isn't a T-Mobile device and it's not connected to T-Mobile services. Starlink. I used to be a Starlink subscriber, but I haven't really needed it, and I wanted to sell my Gen 2 dish before the Gen 2 dish was completely obsolete, so I got rid of that. And I've been keeping it because I might get a Starlink Mini. It's on Black Friday deals as of this moment right now, but I'm in an area for the next 4 or 5 months where I won't need it at all. Star Debug is pretty cool. Star Debug is going to give you a bunch of extra information about your Starlink if you have it. I didn't install Temu. I have no idea what Tide is. Okay, it looks like it's some kind of wellness app. I'm okay. I'm good. I didn't install Tile Explorer. Trucker Path. That's supposed to be, I tow a 36-foot RV and I've got a big truck and I'm like 65-foot total length. So there are some roads I can't get on. Upside is another gas saving app. The Mudflap was for diesel savings. Upside is for gas savings. I have codes for both of these apps. I'll leave them in the description down below for you. Don't need the T-Mobile visual voicemail. VATRA is for VATRA batteries. Victron is for Victron devices. W1ANT satellite tracker is for tracking satellites. Windy is an awesome weather app. It's just eye candy just to have on your wall in your shack in the background. Wode is WinLink on Android. I did some videos on that. Wordscapes I didn't install. Volt I didn't install. WPS Office I didn't install. Weather Underground is good for some of your personal weather stations. You can upload to Weather Underground and then you can see it on the map, and I don't have one of those weather stations anymore, so I can get rid of that. And there's that YouTube music thing. Let's get rid of that. I can't get rid of that. It won't let me uninstall it. So this is where I try and go in and disable it. Yes, I'd like to disable the app. Good. And now it's gone. Same thing with YouTube Kids. I can get rid of YouTube Kids. Interesting. I know why they do the bloatware stuff, but man, it would be nice if we didn't have to deal with that. So without having this video get to be too long, I wanted to go through the Android itself. I wanted to see if it was suitable to tasks. So far, it looks like it's fast enough. It looks like it's going to get the job done. I got all the apps installed from my old phone over here. Next up, we need to get the G106 out and see if the G106 is going to fit in the bag as well. And then I'll need to make up some cables and a whole bunch of stuff. So be sure you're subscribed to the channel to see the updates on this Black Friday ham radio station as we go, the Black Friday Go bag. So I'm digging this. So far, this is pretty good. I like the bigger screen. I might see if there is a keyboard case for this in the future. If you guys have any, I've been using the Samsung Android flavor for decades now. Wow, that's pretty hard to say. Like I've been using Androids for longer than I've had children, and I have children that have children of their own now. Getting old is fun. But I've been in the Samsung user experience ecosystem for a while. So if there is a better UI manager for the Android tablet, let me know and we'll try that out too in a farther down the line type series. But right now, this is pretty cool. And we got to see where we got to go with this. So I will see you guys in the next video in this series. And I'll see you guys in a bunch of other videos in this that aren't in this series, like this one right over here until video 2 shows up. Thanks for being awesome. I'll see you over there.